Good morning. Welcome to Power of Pure Presence, overcoming overthinking. And we will start right now. Notice the backdrop. Immerse yourself in the noise that's coming through, the sounds, the sensations. And before I get into the introduction of the show, I really want this to be about you today. Every show's about you, but I really want to dial in to what your experience is this morning. Have you been overthinking? Check in with yourself as you settle into today's episode. And let's just set an intention that we're going to trust what shows up, what you need will show up, and there's very little you need to do. And I'm just feeling led to step out of the scene right off the start here and take a moment to pause and breathe. This is the signature thing throughout the show is the pause and breath. And I'm going to get into why. And as you breathe, well, there's many techniques to breathe. The in and out through the nose as a circular motion is a great way to. So as I step out, just see what feels natural and see if you can breathe in and out through the nose. And I want to welcome you in today for Power of Pure Presence, overcoming overthinking. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Just type in the chat how you're feeling. Just take that moment, type in the chat how you're feeling. What you've noticed already. Let's just take some time to do that as we welcome in our audience. And I want to welcome in the live chat on Facebook, YouTube. We have Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku. This will be also on Apple Podcasts. So we welcome in all the audience today. And even if you're on the playback, just dial into what's happening in this moment. I'm just looking across. I've been here before, but the trees are bare, right? And there's a dormancy, if you will. But even in the midst of this dormancy, if you will, there's still life. There's still things that are happening. And it's interesting. I come to this spot on a winter day. It's cold, right? And there's a gentleman here. He happens to come out here, and he was like foraging around looking for something. So there's always life happening. But How do you feel right now? And let's just grab some of these shares as we open up the show and welcome you in. And if you've been overthinking, just acknowledge the fact that you've been overthinking. It's the first step. It's just to become aware, and that can be difficult and challenging. But we're going to talk about that, and we'll talk about where the location. I've broadcasted from here before, so let's welcome. You hear the You can hear the geese behind me. And is the audio good? Okay, looks like we're good. You see like a dome in the water maybe. So welcome Sani from Australia. I'd like you to welcome in our new audience here today for the first time. We got a new audience joining us. It's a beautiful backdrop. The sun is warming me now, and check in with your situation. What's happening in your body? Did you do the breathing? Did you notice a difference? And as we're getting into the show, think about this. Think about the overthinking. And I want to put some perspective on this for you. We can slip into overthinking. Typically, when we do, we're in like a stressful kind of a state, right? We might feel a little anxious. We might feel like things are off track a little bit. And we can start to overthink our situation. And what happens is we create, it's not the overthinking, it's we create a state of mind that's constricting. Life always wants to flow. And when we overthink, it's like we're grabbing too tight. We slip into an emotional state, and then that emotional state starts to expand. That energetic expansion happens from this state. And I want you to think about it this way. And this will tie in the breath. We talk about this every episode. But if you're overthinking, you're up here. You're up here. You're in the head. And if you're dealing with some anxious moments, so your breath is up here. You might be mouth breathing and you're up here. So think about it from a physicality of overthinking is in the top, above the heart up, shallow breath, thoughts are running scenarios. And there's a way to think in a productive way. It's not saying that thinking scenarios are bad. I'm suggesting that most of us will slip into overthinking and we're up in our heads. And we might see it on our faces. We might have expression on the face that shows the overthinking and the shallow breath. It's like a party here today. And what the breath does, I want you to think about we got it. Oh, I missed it. They just came in for a landing. Maybe we'll get more of that next time. I'll capture it for you. But how are you doing today? We are going to get your shares. Maddie says she's at peace with the scene. Ivy loves the geese. Me too. Okay, so now we're back into this overthinking above the heart in the head, running scenarios, and it's emotional state that doesn't allow life to unfold. It starts to squeeze. It cuts off the creative flow. Think about the creative flow in this moment when we are void of that projection. The new can come in. Creativity flows in an unexpected way. But when we're overthinking, it blocks the creativity. And so there is this balance between thinking and allowing flow. But when we pause and breathe, we're going from the head here and we're going down deep into the lungs. So that deep breath drives down through the nose, drives down deep into the lungs, activates the lungs in a higher capacity, oxygenates the body. Now there's synergy between all systems starts to happen. Presence happens without you thinking about it. You're not getting there. It's the non-ado. The Tao Te Ching talks about the non-ado. It's the non-thinking. And then what you need shows up, almost as if by a miracle. The flow of life it's always flowing. And when we can pause and breathe, we think about the perspective of going, and now you got a physical thing to think about. So you're not always going to be aware of it, but the moment you're aware of it is the moment it changes. The moment, oh, there, I was in my head. I was in my head, and I'm still in my head a lot of the times, but the recognition, my recognition and awareness of that is increased. And when my awareness of it increases, I'm able to, just like that pause and breath, and then driving down deep into my lungs. And now I'm opened up to the moment. I'm opened up to life as it happens. I have some great footage to share from a night hike that I did earlier this week. I believe it's going to be a great catalyst to bring you into this scene, this magical scene that happened on Wednesday. And we're going to continue with this topic of overthinking. And I know the nature's powerful. Look, I'm looking at the comments, right? It's a matter of fact, I'm going to step out of the scene here in a moment again because it is beautiful. Let's grab your shares now as we're coming up on 15 minutes into the show. So we have Ivy, the practice of awareness and paying attention. And we have Duchess DJ Loves in the green room there, gallivanting like a royal. She's one of the sponsors of the show. DJ, I'm going to turn it over to you because you've been watching the chat. If you want to pull up one of the chats that in the chat, that'd be great. So presence is perfectly aligned with nature and its creator. From Mandy Robinson out of Cobourg, Ontario, Canada. I'm always drawn to the sparkling of the water like a diamond pool. Isn't it amazing how, and that's why we use nature in the show, like it draws you in and it gets you out of here because now you're immersed in the water, like as the water, the water behind me. And I always think about the sun has traveled 8 minutes. That light traveled 8 minutes to get here. Like, if you look at if you got in your car and went for a walk, where could you go in 8 minutes, right? And that light takes about 8 minutes for it to get here. But it's interesting, like you think about it, it's emanating. It's there's an energetic emanation that's always happening from the sun, as there is from the present moment. And your awareness of that expansion allows you to be in it. And then you can pour intention into it as well, which we talked about in some of the other shows. Want a photo of that scene? Okay. We will get a photo of that scene. How about we do it right now? See? Just do it right now. We'll take a photo. We got the photo, DJ, and we can share it. We'll put it up on this later. We'll share it. People can get it. What else? Let's check some of your other shares here. Beautiful backdrop. It takes you away, doesn't it? It just takes you into a space. Practice of awareness and paying attention. Presence is perfectly aligned with nature and its creator. These are the shares coming in from Mandy. That was Mandy. The power of silence. That's from Ivy. And if you look at the ripples in the water, it's another. All right, we're going to do something fun here. I'm going to do something fun right now. We're just going to do this in the moment. Be in the moment. Just love it, right? Takes you away. It's just, it's amazing. Just the simple, right? Say the simple. In the simple lies the profound. It's always available for us. It's always available. Sandy is saying, I feel calm and contentment. So relaxing. Gallivanting like a royal. Oh, hello, geese. It's amazing. They're just so calm right now. I needed this today. So did I, Mandy. And I put this in a lot of the, let me see here. We got overthinking ruins you. It ruins the situation and it twists around. It makes you worry. Plus, it makes everything worse than it actually is. Karen, so the, and the thing we're doing here with the show, it's very subtle, but it's all that invitation to be in the moment. And as life happens, when you feel that intensity of the moment where something happens, And this is what I shared. I'll share this now. Is like there's this the noise of the mind starts to kick up, and if we can pause and breathe and get to that deeper part of ourselves, we can get just beyond the noise where there's a subtle, softer, better solution. Right? I mean, in some cases, we have a gut instinct, right, where that we know there's a receptors, and we can feel a gut instinct that's initial, and it's true, and it's real, and it's meaningful. But there's also that reactionary part of the brain when somebody did something, somebody cut you off in traffic. There's our initial kind of programmed response that's negative. But if we pause and breathe, we can get to the other side of that noise, that bubble. Think of that spike. The noise spikes up, and then on the other side, there's a softer, better solution. And we might need to express sometimes. We might need to say, we might need to get it out. But even when we have an emotional charge that we need to get out of our system in the moment, even if we're more conscious about that, so that we're not calling names or hurting ourselves, going, I remember one time I was going through a very stressful situation, and the gym was open 24 hours, and I went to the gym like 3 a.m, and I was on the treadmill, you know, just a weird thing, but I needed to get the energy out of me. I needed to get it out without hurting myself or someone else. And that's the noise of the mind. And the conditioning that we can do is to condition ourselves to get to the other side of the noise and get, and maybe a better way to say it is to get back into the present moment instead of projection of what we think is happening. So this is simple. If you think that right now, if you really think about this moment, there's unlimited potential in every moment. There's unlimited potential for you. But remember, you're an emanation. So imagine you got you got the sun emanating its light in this moment, and then there's the sun, which is the source, the great ball of fire, which is emanating, and you're emanating. The difference between us is that we can change that emanation when we go in deep into the present moment and we do the core work. I had this quote came to me: the conscious light of presence will not blind you, but it will awaken you. The conscious light of presence will not blind you, but it will awaken you. Maybe that resonates, because we might be looking for that blinding thing to happen in the present moment, but to be in the present moment is first and foremost. And even with the Flashpoint, which is the book that's coming out on December 16th, it's my first solo book. This Flashpoint, manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough. We'll put that link in later. But even through that, you need the awareness of the moment as it's unfolding. Oh yeah, this is true. So we're let's grab this one here. So when you have an emotional charge in this, like that somebody has done something, not letting it out is like walking with a time bomb. And once it has become a habit to suppress it, it's so hard to change. Right. Thank you, Sandy, from Australia, with a great reflection here. And sometimes the toughest thing is to sit in the present moment with that charge and do nothing. That's another way to look at it, is that when the charge happens, can you sit in the charge and without becoming reactionary to it, without reacting right away, and then maybe creating a healthier way to react, to respond. So thank you for sharing that. That was really great. Yeah, and another way is from Mandy saying, let it go and let God. Don't allow the negative emotion to store in your cells. It can take weeks to free cells. And think about when you overthink, it's like you're going off on a tangent. You're emanating overthinking, running every single scenario, right? Complicating the simplistic, complicating the simple solution. We've all been there. There's a simple solution right there, and we've complicated it. And like DJ was saying earlier, we make it worse. There's a quote that says worrying is negative goal setting, right? But the thing about it is we do it unconsciously. The light of conscious awareness won't blind you, but it will awaken you. So let me grab some quotes. Actually, we're going to take a little break here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share from our sponsors here, and then we're going to share the trailer for the Flashpoint 4.0 documentary and the book launch. And then I got some things I write in my journal as they come through, so I can prepare for the show. But I just hope, let me know if you're enjoying the nature part of this. I mean, there's studies behind this. There's research now that your mood improves 31% by watching it. And if this inspires you to get out, people always say to me, where do you get your energy from? How do you look? It's this, being out in the open air, even when it's a little cold, right? I'm sitting here. It's probably in the 40s right now, but I'm sitting. I'm going to stand up and move here. Pause and breathe, stand and move, right? We need both energies. And this being outside is therapy. It's the sun, the sun is coming down. It's like, and when it's cold and wintry, we can lock down, but we can also get out. So let's grab a little clip from the trailer, and then we'll hear from our sponsors here.
My name is Marilyn Morales. I'm here because I want to help people to heal. I want to heal. I want to be different. I want to be more productive. And I think anybody that comes here is going to find that same thing, their breakthrough.
Oops, we'll go back to that. But what I want to share with you, the Flashpoint book is coming out December 16th. We've had beta readers, and it's a great opportunity to take advantage of what we're creating in this environment with living in the present moment, and also creating that structural tension, that enthusiasm with what you're creating, that expansion greater, and then having a moment where you realize that everything you've been working on is coming to fruition. It's manifesting and coming to fruition. Let me share the way you can get connected to that right now. There's a QR code, and all you need to do is scan the QR code. If you're on video, if you're listening to audio, it's austinhaynes.com/book launch, but you can go to austinhaynes.com. I hear you. Yes. And you can find all the details there, austinhaynes.com. You just look up book launch in the top of the header there, and you'll be able to get to it. So here's the QR code you can scan. we're going to stream a portion of it. We're going to have some Zoom you can get into a Zoom if you're in our community. That's for people who are really in our community and they can't get here physically. Then we have in person, and we have a whole lot of things we're doing around the event. So just check that out. And I also want to give a shout out to Duchess DJ Love. She is in the green room. She has helped with this show. She stepped up and said, I want to be a sponsor. And she travels 50 US states, 10 US countries, and I know there's going to be a lot more. She's got her book out, Traveltude. You definitely want to connect. I'll just give a little shout out here. And I love the way she brings travel experience, which we know brings you into the moment. When you travel, you're just in the moment, you're immersed. Type in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. When you travel, you're looking at everything, you're just taking it all in. She does a great job with creating that. And also, what's great, she gives you tips on how to travel like a royal on a budget. That's why it's gallivanting like a royal, because it sounds nice for, oh yeah, well, that's nice for her. But if you follow what she does and you look at the tips, that's the whole point. You too can travel like a royal, and she's all about spreading the love. So just make sure you connect with Duchess DJ. And then we have another really special person, Julie Gandy, Peace and Love Amplifiers. There's actually a funny thing we talk about Julie. She started a bar fight. It's really kind of a paradox, right, if you will, the polarity principle at play. But she's dedicated her life over 25 years to studying coherence. I don't really use the word a lot in the show, but that's when the heart and brain can synchronize. It's a state of coherence, relax, refresh, digest, parasympathetic nervous system instead of fight, flight, or fright. And she's got a great program that I went through that I won't get into it here, but I had like this surreal experience, this surreal vision, and it was just pure love. And I just highly recommend that. Let me put that up here so you can take advantage of it. As we're sharing this, I think the key theme of all of this is living from a better place, not to a better place. I'm not living. See, I used to live living to a better place. Think about that. My better place is in the future. I'm flawed here in this moment. I'm flawed. My world is flawed. The situation is flawed. That everything should be different. And I'm being a little dramatic, but things should be different. So the future, I'm living to the future moment instead of living from this very moment. That little shift will change your life if you keep coming back to it through the show. So I am living in a state of peaceful power from this moment. I come from the deepest, best place of myself, and then I emanate from that place. And then I'm in a state where I never have to get there, but I get there. I do the non-ado. I create the flashpoint without striving for the flashpoint, because the flashpoint is happening in me when I live fully in this moment. And then here's what I can do. I give myself the gift to live fully now. This is our 30-ounce tumbler. We'll be marking this stuff more, but the main thing here is to live life fully now in this moment. That's the message. And it's real. And no matter where you are, it's real. It's not some utopian future moment. It's real, and it's now. But all this stuff's going on in the world, you don't understand. That stuff, the noise, is the perfect contrast for you to live with the conscious light of presence. Not void of the noise, with the noise. You shine. And it's right now. But it starts with appreciation. So I'm going to pause what I'm going to do in this moment. I'm going to step away again. And I want you to just look around and what do you appreciate? Even if you're not a nature person, let's see if what can you find in this scene that you can appreciate? And if it's not in the scene, maybe you think about a loved one. Maybe something comes out of nowhere, but it rises up. So I'm going to ask DJ to put the banner up for pause and breathe. We're going to do that. I want you to find something in the scene you appreciate. When we come back, I want to grab your shares. I'll grab some of your shares, see what's arising up in you as we unfold here. And then I'm going to share the night hike with you before we end. I have some footage of this night hike I went on. It's really cool. It's really surreal. So, and when you breathe, if you're new to the show, see if you can breathe through the nose, in and out through the nose, like a circle. Or just breathe deep. Do whatever feels right for you. And I'll see you back here in a short moment. So let's see what we noticed. The love. So Mandy Robinson noticed the love, the transparency through the trees, a different scene, but just as rich. Hi, Gordon. Welcome to the show. Gordon D. Melville, the long bearded guy. The constant flow of the water, regardless of what's happening around or in it, even. The constant flow of the water, right? That's a great reflection. Yeah. The water's flowing regardless of what's happening around it. Ivy Perez, the twinkle, the ripple, the serenity. Love it. Now, if you're on the audio playback, what did you hear? Maybe somebody heard something. Those beams of sun bursting through. That's our own Duchess DJ Love gallivanting like a royal. What else do we have? So grateful. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for you for being here today. Yes, living from. That is the operative word right there. It's a higher frequency when you come from. Yes. Cindy saying stereo sound from underwater. Bring me in. I know, right? You just want to. It's immersive, right? You feel the like there's an immersive. It just pulls you into the scene. You want to be in the moment. You're in the moment. Think about this. I want you to take this with you. We have about 15 minutes left in the show, but I want you to think about this throughout the week. You have been programmed for more, and what you need is less of more. You've been programmed for content, but maybe you need less content. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to balance those two worlds out, be in the moment, and go through it. So, focused on who you are being. I would love to travel with my family like royalty for sure. Okay. Yes. So that's a beautiful connect with DJ. I want to get to my journal, because we know we have in the time element, we have about 15 minutes left in the show. So each week, as I'm preparing for the show, if you will, it's really just a focus on the show. I focus on the show and then see what arises throughout the week. And then I'll grab some tidbits. So I'll just share some of that. So this is a quote that I came up with. What you are longing for is focus, but your overactive mind has convinced you that you need to be spinning plates and doing. What you are longing for is focus. If you think about these moments throughout the show, there's focus in your life. There's that presence. But your overactive mind has you convinced that you need to be spinning plates and doing. Stop the insanity. Being is greater than doing, and doing is very, very, very important. Think about that. Being is greater than doing, and doing is very, 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 very important. And then the adage, remember, you are a human being, not a doing. And if you look here in nature, we just did the exercise. Here's the other quote I had. No words need to be said, but everything is communicated. And think about that in a relationship. No words are said, but everything is communicated. And I said this on an earlier video, overthinking creates stuck energy. And that's why when you're overthinking, you're in the real estate up here, you're in the top half, and it's like it's constrictive. It's like you're grabbing it too tight. Let it flow. Yeah. And think about the other thing that came through was like, think about, even if you're not like a dancer, but think about there's this flowy kind of dance, right? There's a flow, right? And moving to that flow, right? There's Tai Chi, there's movements and breath where the body starts to flow energetically, releases, head up, chest up, shoulders back, release, and then maybe flow is the physicality behind this while maintaining the breath. And the science keeps coming in about what happens. Coherence, I mentioned that earlier. So the real problem is the emotion or the state of overthinking, because then you're coming from, right? You're emanating from overthinking. It's like you're sending waves out that are just causing more problems, causing more problems. I got to overthink, and then you're aware. Pause and breathe. I'm back in the moment. Pause and breathe. I'm back in the moment. Pause and breathe. I'm back connected to peaceful power. Pause and breathe. The conscious light of awareness doesn't blind me, but it awakens me. And I'm in a state of pure being, peaceful power. I come from a place of peaceful power. You come from a place of peaceful power, poised, planned, on purpose, positive, perfecting, peaceful, purposeful emanation, the truest emanation of who you are. Planted, long planted in the very seed when you arrived. Happens. Let's share this night hike with you and just do this. I just invite you to do the same thing where you just be in the moment, be in the scene. Okay? Be in the scene. And then we'll come back with your final shares. We'll wrap the show up and we will leave in a state of peaceful power. We will pause and breathe. We will be calm even in the most challenging situations because we harness the power of pure presence. Hope you enjoy this. I got some spooky green lighting here. Actually, it's kind of fitting. I'm on the Green Ribbon Trail, the upper Wissahickon watershed. I just got done a night hike and I just wanted to share some of the backdrop here. The water running behind me. The moon is beautiful. It's just a beautiful opportunity to find stillness. So take a moment, pause and breathe. Just let this moment of nature and night and moonlight and the calm of night wash over you. Take a moment to enjoy this. Really amazing. The running water refreshed the soul. Sandy refreshed the soul. Mandy, the water cascading through the emotion to let it all go free. What will you take away this week? Here's what I want to offer to you. Notice. Just notice the overthinking. Remember, it's not perfection, it's practice. It's not perfection, it's a practice. Notice when you're overthinking. And the moment you notice it, pause and breathe. And then pause and breathe again. And just keep bringing that presence into your life through the noticing. It starts with noticing. In most people's lives, this is a really key distinction. In most people's lives, noticing brings about the emotion, I'm doing it wrong. But the truth is, noticing is the opportunity. You see that subtle flip of the script, right? I noticed I'm overthinking. Say I did it again. I noticed I'm overthinking. Great. Pause and breathe. You see the difference? That little subtle shift of interpretation changes everything. It changes everything. I want to invite you to continue to follow along. We'll be back next week. I want to invite you into our world through the Flashpoint book, which is coming out. And we're going to start talking about this now. Next year, there's going to be another book, The Power of Pure Presence, Live More Fully Now. This is a prototype. We might change it, but it says The Power of Pure Presence, Live Life More Fully Now, 365 daily inspirations to help you stay present. That's the book idea right now. Oh, and I also want to point this out. And I'm not sure if DJ did this, but there's a circular. It's called Natural Awakenings Magazine. And there's all different iterations because it's a regional magazine, and I happen to know, become friends with the woman who runs it, Shay Marcus, and this is the South Jersey edition. The South Jersey edition, and Flashpoint is on page 11. The book launch and documentary premiere. I'm holding it up. I believe there's a digital version that we can put in the chat, so you can get access to the digital version and you can read this. It's a nice little article. It's a great magazine, not just for my part, but if you take a look into that, I think you'll really get a lot out of it. So any final shares as we close out? I'd like to close out with just the stillness of the scene. Before I say goodbye to you, we have about 3 minutes left. So I just want to welcome you to connect with us. austinhaynes.com/book launch. We shared the QR code. And again, the call to action is just to notice the overthinking and say, notice, instead of judging, allow the opportunity to unfold. Pause and breathe. And then you're going from the head down into the deeper part of your body, which is going to metaphorically, and actually there's more and more proof that that's real, and you come from that deeper part of yourself. So 2 minutes left. I see the hashtags coming in. Awareness from Mandy, peace, stillness. Ivy, like the fact that we're in the article. All right, folks, I'm so glad you're here. You can always connect with me, message me, let me know. You go to my website, austinhaines.com. If this is having an impact on you, let me know. It's important. We love getting feedback. This is, again, it's a practice, not perfection. If this was perfection, I wouldn't be here. Trust me. That is a fact. So there's the article there, www.nassouthjersey.com. Look for the digital copy of the Natural Awakenings magazine. I want you to have a fantastic week and notice that overthinking. That's the gateway to change it. Have a great Sunday, everyone. God bless. I forgot to tell you the location. This is Cooper River, which is Collingswood, Cherry Hill, Pennsauken area of New Jersey. Have a great day.